We are Brass Phantoms.
And this is Indigo.
It started off with myself and James being in school together, and after a few denials of him asking me to be in a band, I was slowly persuaded into joining a band, and then we recruited McCabe, and then McCabe helped us recruit Greg, and then James and Colleen were into college together.
Sounds like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, it is. How to start a band. Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, so myself and Greg met at Adam's
18th.
Yeah, 18th birthday.
Jesus, that was a while ago now.
Oh,
It's a source of much debate.
yeah. I feel the original name we were going for was called. This is before I think you were.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, it was called the Fantanas after Brian Fantana of Anchorman. And we realised that Fanta actually owned that name. It's a copyright. It's actually a brand. There's like 4 girls and they're singing and they're all the different flavours of Fanta.
And they're way better than
and they're
us.
far better. They have that Fanta money.
So then Brass Phantoms.
Yeah, so it slowly became Phantoms, and I was like, I like Phantoms, and then it was like, well, like call it, and then it came to Brass Phantoms.
There's no brass in the band.
There's no brass in the band. I will warn you.
Disclaimer for the folks.
It's kind of down to our influences as well. Like we listen to a lot of I know for myself, I'd listen to a lot of like punk music or even post-punk with and then even when you go to America with Talking Heads and they discussing issues with like a pop melody, make it more accessible. I think a lot of our influence sort of come from like accessible sort of pop music with deeper sort of.
That's part of the challenge as well, to kind of have depth, but still like something that so you can connect with people on maybe what the meaning is, but then melodically be able to resonate with people as well.
Yeah, so to be able to have the songs being played on the radio, but also have like, your own sort of like not agenda, but your own sort of like vision of what the song is going towards as well, would be the sort of general gist of things. So.
Yeah, like we had when we started out, Ryan and James had a couple of songs that myself and Adam pretty much were playing on, and the sound has just completely evolved since then. So I guess as the 4 of us played together a lot more, we were getting different kind of vibes and different sounds, and trying out different things. Then it just kind of, I guess from a songwriting point of view, we were all different, bringing different ideas in, and things kind of fused. And as you said, we kind of got the more, maybe kind of, there's a little more melancholy there now, but I don't know.
Yeah, like it's sort of trying to always kind of move forward with what you're doing as well, doing something, thinking, okay, what's the next step? And that's when we sort of that's when we sort of got Colleen on board as well, who's been helping us with our tour. And you were actually on Waiting Up as well. Colleen really sort of helps with creating like the atmosphere with playing synth and her harmonies as well. So we very much welcomed Colleen on. So it's sort of constantly trying to push what you're doing, trying to see something, thinking, I don't like that, I don't know whether people would like that, and then getting rid of those bits and trying to move forward with what you're
It
doing.
nearly comes to blows sometimes, but most of the time.
It's sort of like we usually all write songs on 8 tracks, and they're always like half sort of done songs, and sometimes there might be like a synth line that we use, and like for all the songs we recorded, it's always been in the studio. It's always been.
I think we kind of use the instruments to kind of create the atmosphere. So like even on Waiting Up, that was I suppose I kind of started out with maybe a bass line and the vocal melody, and then as myself and James kind of put our hands into it, we were trying out different things on guitar, and of course like with neither of us as the main vocal, we have a bit of freedom on the guitars, that we're not confined to doing a lot, like doing what a lot of other bands might be confined, like we can kind of both move around and do different things with different effects on the guitar, and that helps the atmosphere. And then of course bringing the synth in there only adds to that and lifts it for some, but certainly with the live shows I think it brings it.
I think yourself and James isn't here actually.
He is the Phantom.
Yeah, James is prepping for the gig, but I think James and yourself, your sort of philosophy when playing would sort of be like, you don't want to be both playing like rhythm or both playing, it's sort of similar things, it sort of opens the door
like I don't think there's no rhythm guitarist in the band, which I kind of like. There's there's freedom to do, like, not that we're against playing rhythm guitar, but that you can do whatever, and it just creates the atmosphere of the song more so than being stuck to playing a certain kind of guitar.
Yeah, well, Indigo, it was a song that I think it started off with myself and James jamming out. I was over in his house, and we were messing around with the synth and stuff and some of his pedals, and then we came up with the main riff, and I wanted to write a song where the lyrics just started off straight away, just straight into the song, as we always are fond of our big intros. Just something that just sort of kicks straight in, and I guess sort of the idea was sort of like it was sort of like a mild sort of like war scene sort of images. So like you'd have like the nurse coming in to take care of the patients, and then myself viewing it like sort of a city, sort of like the walls coming down, and it just sort of images building up on top of each other, and then like a sort of idea of people being not recognizing it and not sort of seeing that there is an issue, and that sort of, and then when you had the music video, Alan McCartney came in and he added another layer where he was sort of like my physical lyrics added with his mental, with her with Alicia coming in doing dancing.
Yeah, Alicia was like, I think 14 doing that video, and she choreographed her own routine, and it really just added so much to the video. So
Yeah,
she was
she
great.
made
It was amazing, yeah. So it was sort of like a mental sort of war between herself, and it was, I thought it really blended in with the song very well.
Yeah, completely. I think it connected. It gave another kind of way for people to connect.
Yeah,
with the song,
another layer.
which is really what we were trying to do.
Yeah. I think it was the fact that when we went to record a song, we were going in with the idea of just demoing it, and it was sort of I was messing around with different vocal takes, and that one was just, it was very much just the one that stood out a bit more. I think I'd like to go over and maybe, I kind of wish I could go back over and hone it in a bit more, but it was sort of like, it was, I guess it was, yeah, it's far more prominent. There's a lot more sort of aggression in the vocals. There's some elements I really like for it.
I hope you like all of it.
I know, I like all of it. I've gotten to the stage now where I sing it like that live now as well.
Yeah, they're a little more. They do cut through a little more than maybe the other tracks, but
Yeah, I've grown to really love it now.
Yeah.
I think our first practice we sort of noticed a little change. It was one of those songs where it just sort of clicked within maybe.
We played it like it was the end of August last year for the first time as well, and just it's the only thing we've released that has the outro that long or that built up as well, and I think that really, like, the reaction that got at that first gig was really good, and that's definitely, like, we kind of have that, like, some of the stuff that will come out later probably has maybe the more kind of bigger sound, but that's, I guess we're kind of, as Ryan would have said earlier, is to try and keep moving, keep evolving, and so I'm sure, like, yeah, there will be bits of Indigo in what comes out soon, but hopefully we can keep building on that as well.
Yeah. It's sort of, I always like to think that when you're on stage, there's the fourth wall comes down, so you kind of have to separate studio from live, and I think it's bringing out the emotion of stuff more live, trying to be more expressive, trying to, because I've noticed a lot going to see shows, and it's sort of like there is the emotional sort of tension there, but no one's expressing it enough, so it's sort of like using more hand gestures, sort of trying to make it more emotive, more connecting to the people.
I think this year in particular, just different conversations we've had with, like, amongst ourselves, maybe with people outside the band, is one thing, is to try and make the shows more of a show as well, like that we are conscious that it's a live show, and it's fine, like, it's obviously you want the songs to sound good, but there has to be an expressive element. I think we're definitely getting better at bringing that out. Being on tour for the last while has helped with that as well.
Constant sort of shows sort of really helped us sort of get to our zone for this one.
No, it really, on top of what's already been said, it's kind of, there is a clear distinction between what's studio and what's live. This is certainly more raw, more visceral, I suppose, for the live, because just purely out of our situation, we can't recreate all the stuff that has gone into the studio live. So rather than try and getting all this equipment that we couldn't ever afford to try and get this crisp, immaculate sound, just taking another avenue and going for another kind of goal of it, making it a bit more emotive, a bit more kind of in your face.
And I think that's actually like something that we now take back into the studio. Like when we recorded Waiting Up, we recorded that with 2 other songs, and one of them we're kind of not happy with the recording anymore because we didn't refine. It's not that it sounded bad. It was just maybe it was what this song should be like as played as a live show, but we didn't really refine it enough, and I think that almost comes across too much in the recording.
Yeah.
So there is definitely a distinction between the two,
Yeah.
and I think it's good to be conscious of that you can try and get the best of both rather than force one thing into another.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more real as well, I think, especially at live.
I mean, we're all kind of, as Greg said about the 2 guitar lines, I think that applies for every instrument, that we try and be a little bit more than, just the drums or just the rhythm guitar or just the lead or just the vocals or something. We all have a bit, and it comes out, I think, live more prominently, that we try and, like say, as a drummer, trying to make melodies out of drum beats and stuff like that, and trying to spice it up, for lack of a better term. And the same goes for bass, same goes for synth and the harmonies and everything on top of that.
I do like is that we sort of connect bass drum wise. It's always like everything's always sort of on the note with each other. So.
I would hope so.
I hope so. That was incredible.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Weird in the good sense, just standing, getting off like an 8-hour flight and another 1.5-hour bus, and then you turn around and there's Times Square in front of you, and you're like,
And then you have to go
oh
play
man,
gigs.
I'm not ready for this. I haven't slept
Like,
enough.
it was so weird. We played the Berry Electric in New York, and when you leave, like we finished our sound check, and I walked outside and I turned my head to the right, and it was a road leading straight to the Empire State Building. It was sort of, at moments it was surreal.
Yeah.
And even going to see the show in Rough Trade as well, in Brooklyn, like it was great. I know.
Every Irish boy's dream.
Yeah, but we went to the UK as well. I loved it. We started off in Dublin Castle here in London.
Yeah, I think it was our first time really doing this, so we were.
It was experimental in
It
itself.
was, but I think there was this. There was an assumption, I would say, among the band where the shows weren't going to be great or there wouldn't be people there, and we were pleasantly surprised with most of them. I think
we went in just thinking we're a group of guys and girls from North Dublin. Who the hell are we over in New York or London or Manchester?
And it was sort of like the feedback as well from people. It was very nice to see that like people were understanding it. There was a few people that understood it like really well. They would.
We're not fucking Ulysses here.
No, but like there was that guy. There was that guy that like. There was that guy that were like who.
he liked it.
Yeah, and then he liked it so much he invited us to stay in his house. So.
Yeah, that's
We did not.
We did not. Not yet.
I found it different things like with the Irish crowds. I guess this one, I don't want to say it was like free of pressures, but it wasn't a big deal if people didn't turn up. Whereas tonight at Whelan's, we kind of stressed a little. Maybe not so much tonight, but like we did Workman's earlier in the year, and like the couple of weeks leading up to that was just a constant thing of, oh, there's going to be no one there, and this is so. It was nice to not really have that for a show to do. But it was funny. But I think we kind of got into it, and it's great. Like Colleen's been playing for maybe like the last 5 months or so, and to do so many shows in such quick succession was great for kind of gelling us together as well. I think.
Plus we didn't kill each other.
Yeah.
Like we did things on a shoestring essentially, and like close quarters for that. And better bands have broken up because of it.
Yeah. Like there was a lot of dealing with like, hangovers and snoring and not sleeping and not eating meals, but we had a great time.
Combination of Ryanair, Megabus, and Iva's budget.
Yeah.
The Holy Trinity is out.
But,
And don't forget Norwegian.
Norwegian. I'll endorse Norwegian.
Shout out Norwegian. Shout out Norwegian.
So yeah, it was, but no, I don't think like I think New York was there was a couple of moments, like, I remember the second gig in New York, like, looking over at, I think it was Ryan during the gig, and he was in the middle of a song. I was like, wait, we're actually not in Dublin right now playing. It was kind of, so there were a couple of moments like that for sure. Hopefully we'll have more of that next year.
Yes.
Norwegian.
I think, to be honest, we've played this venue a few times now, so that's kind of helped.
I think there's always an apprehension of how things will go and how things pan out, and again, people show up. But that's been further pushed.
But I guess that's part of it. I mean, it's like, because we're still doing this kind of off our own bat, so it's not like there's someone outside of the band whose job it is to bring people. It is very much kind of hands-on, which is good to an extent. Like we can really push it, but I think sometimes when you're doing your own shows, it does get a little bit stressful. So trying to sell tickets and stuff.
Yeah, no,
It's part of the game.
it's gone pretty well so far for this.
Yeah.
Yes, like I think I think the biggest challenge is to always sort of be persistent, because you never know what sort of avenues you're sort of going to end up on. Like picked up. but
that was the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
but so you never know where you're going to end up. So it's sort of like there's this element of just trying to keep going mentally, and it's that constant thing where you have like the economic and the actual like keeping up with writing and sort of practicing and trying to be as tight as possible on stage. It's a constant thing, but if there's the love there as well, it's very easy as well.
I think that's true. Yeah, and like there's been times in the past where maybe we were playing at a festival and I say the word festival in kind of inverted commas, like it was not a great gig or whatever, and we've gone home and you're kind of obviously haven't had a great day, and it is just about not letting that really stop you, because you have to have an overall, an overview of, I don't want to use a cliche like a bigger picture, but like a lot of you have to be kind of conscious of some of the stuff, no matter if it goes good or bad, it doesn't really matter, it can't stop you doing the next thing you have to do the next day. So I guess that's kind of where persistence will come into it.
And that goes for all walks of life.
I think
I think so.
Don't do drugs, kids. That's my PT.
We create our own memes on this tour. We got I think we just started losing our minds a little bit. I don't think we killed ourselves because we just became the one entity, just a one.
Just kind of merged into one thing, just laughing at the stupidest things in the world. Stuff I can't even remember. If you were to ask me what we were laughing about, I probably would have forgotten.
Yeah.
We also,
no, we do.
We also drink.
That's
a bad picture for us.
Yeah.
No, we get on well, so we don't mind. Like when you're waiting around, it is a lot easier when you're with when I'm with these four. Well, James isn't here, but
there's nothing to talk about him. That's how we'll pass the time now. We'll gossip about James.
This is what happened whenever there was one member gone. We just gossiped about them.
Well,
we kind of had it down to a fine art while we were on tour. Like you'd get in, like if you only had one night somewhere, you'd get into the city in the afternoon or whatever. Have like an hour walk around, go to the venue for sound check, then you'd go eat, and then go back and play, and then go out at the night. So
how did you find it, Colleen?
Pretty good. Like
okay.
That was grand. Like we did mostly is like we get up in the morning really early, check out, get a bus, go to the next city, get there, nap for like 4 hours. Then get
I don't think we napped, did we?
You don't sleep.
Yeah.
You just like hang from the ceiling and just look at us.
Time for the gig.
That'd be my nightmare.
So we managed to get
We're entertaining ourselves now.
This is what we do when we're away. We just
go and do it and have a laugh, even because we just some of the funnest times we've ever been or we've ever had has been in a shed with some really bogey amps. Just we think this sounds deadly. And it probably didn't, but it was
it's sort of
kept going because we thought it was fun.
it's sort of freedom of mind sort of thing. It's sort of like I think we're all little punks at the roots of us. Just sort of like we just sort of banging, making noise until it actually ends up sounding.
Well, I think persistence is one of the things.
Yeah.
Like obviously, and that's advice for ourselves. Like we're way off where we want to get to, I guess. But for even like if you were starting a band, just because a bad gig doesn't mean you can stop, or a good gig doesn't mean you can kind of say we're great. It's just about it has to be about the next thing if you're really. And
so it's sort of knowing your goals as well. So like the moment you hit something, like what's next? Because like one thing that I do like about it is no matter what we do, it's sort of like even come from the UK, it's sort of like okay, what are we doing next?
Yeah,
it's sort of like everything sort of like dies down.
focus.
Yeah.
I think it's also important to know that it's okay if you're starting a band. It's okay not to know what your sound is, or because we're evidence of the fact that like the first things we ever put out were very different to what are out now. And
we have
what's
2 EPs that aren't online.
we buried them under the floorboards.
Well, they're not what we want to go for anymore.
Yeah.
So it's
It's completely fine.
It's completely fine actually, just to not like what you're doing sort of once before. Just to sum it up, sort of like
And don't pay to play.
Don't pay to play.
Don't pay to play.
Don't
Just
fucking
don't pay to
play.
play.
Don't pay to play.
Don't pay to apply. Don't pay to play. Whatever about not getting paid for a gig. Don't pay
To play the
play.
game.
Because that's
It's not going to be good. It's just not going to be good.
And there's
We did it once.
We have the scars to
I
prove
don't
it.
think we've ever paid to
We
play.
did it once.
We
can't. Well, I can even
Yeah,
name
no,
it.
but
But
yeah.
yeah, but it's too far gone now. It's too far gone.
Yeah.
There's actually like there's again not to name, there's like kind of big festivals in Ireland that even have a kind of €20 to apply kind of. It's like okay. Not
You don't
gonna
need
do
that.
Yeah, we don't. Just it's more worries.
Yeah. So don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So after this.
Play a show, I guess.
Yeah.
Got this tonight. I've got one more gig for this tour in Waterford in a couple of weeks, I guess.
Yeah.
And then it'll probably quieten down, but there'll be a lot going behind the scenes. We're going to record more. We're going to do hopefully a couple of tracks. There's a video planned for the next track, and I guess we'd be looking at getting that out early next year. But not to give away a whole lot. But
It's going to be nice to see our families again as well.
Yeah.
Because they have not seen us in
Yeah.
weeks.
It's going to be. I think there's a lot to build on from the last couple of months, even, and the plan is to do that, I guess.
Yeah.
So there'll be more stuff out in the new year.
New Year is going to be full throttle.
Yeah, all systems go. I guess.
Yeah.
I'd like to say thank you so much to you guys.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
very much for having us.
Much obliged.
That's advice for a young band. If you want to get stuff covered, go to Anybody because they're one of the best blogs in that.
And don't pay to play. And Norwegian Airline.
And don't trust anything we just said.
Yeah.
except for the Anybody blog.
Yeah.
You can get us on Spotify, Facebook, anything, Instagram, Twitter.
It's all the
Title.
all the
Apparently we're on
URLs.
Deezer. I didn't know that.
We're
Yeah, we're on Deezer.
I
Yeah.
didn't know we were on Deezer.
Yeah, you got Spotify and Facebook, I guess, at the main two. but-
Tinder.
Tinder.
I'm great on
Possibly.
Tinder.
I
Colleen does the messaging on my Tinder.
don't know.
So you're talking to her, but
It
yeah.
does not go well.